Well, you mentioned Mexico, Alex, and the travel warnings, and now we actually have a whole new set of travel. I'm still adjust tiers. Yes, tiers of travel warnings, and I think it was confusing to start with. It may be more confusing now. And one of the destinations that I think has been hit a little bit by that is Mexico.
Yeah, well, Mexico, unfortunately, I mean, it was hit badly in August under the previous warning system.
Right. Is it better now?
It's much better now, particularly to the most important destinations, Los Cabos in Baja California Sur, as well as Quintana Roo, where Cancun, Riviera Maya, Cozumel, which is by far the highest concentration of tourists in Mexico. So that was badly hurt in August. Under the new warning that they came up, it came at from level 1 being the softest, 4 being the strongest, came out at level 2, which is the same level that England has, like particularly London or Paris. And by the way, we lose sight that the United States has in many cities, like Orlando, like Las Vegas, like Chicago, like New Orleans, stronger warnings. So in other countries.
From other countries, yeah,
From
that's
other
right.
countries.
Yeah,
So Canada, the
we
UK,
tend to
France.
ignore
So
that every other country has travel warnings on us.
Yeah, so it's ironic. I have some friends that they call me and they live in Chicago and they said, we were thinking about moving from Mexico to Dominican Republic. Do you think it's safe because of this travel warning? And I said, well, where do you live? I live in Chicago. I said, would you go out for dinner? Would you go out to go to the theater tonight? Would you go to the museum? Oh, of course I would. I said, well, let me tell you something. We're at the same level. And when you talk of criminality, you're much higher. Yeah. So in terms of real safety, we had to put really things in perspective. So in that aspect, we're better, but it's all perception. Right. Again, now, unfortunately, the news, instead of focusing on these destinations like Cancun and Los Cabos and Riviera Maya being ease up and a much better level of travel warning, now they're focusing on other places like Guerrero and Sinaloa, where Mazatlan or Acapulco are, being as bad as Syria. That was, for example, one of the big. It is.
That's a stretch.
They're and they went from 4. They're in 4. So unfortunately, the news been focusing on the negative side, negative aspect, because negative sells more than in the positive aspect. And then places like Dominican Republic or Jamaica, who they always had the same level. The level has not moved. People didn't know they had a warning. Now they all know. So talking about warnings now is like a trendy topic.
Yeah.
I don't know if one of the reasons behind is to promote domestic travelers.
I don't think so.
But for whatever reason, I think we should really put things in perspective. Talking about safety and talking about Cuba, for example. Cuba is one of the safest destinations in the world.
Yeah. Minus the sonic attacks, but other than that.
No, including the sonic attacks.
I will say, I think over time, the new travel warning alert system is going to be very, very beneficial. I know we have a global response team, as everyone does, that really monitors events that come through. And before, you would get lots of questions on the phone. So what's the difference between a warning and alert? And now to have that, not only the various tiers, but the more specificity as to why, that really didn't exist before, or as clearly as it did before. And so I think there'll be some noise, because there always is anytime you roll out something new, and maybe a little bit of confusion. But I think over time, it will actually help the American traveler.
Well, I hope so, because I thought the old system was very complicated. I'm still adjusting to the new system. So, but I wonder how Americans are feeling, or if they even look at these warnings.